And I continued on that path till my 50th birthday. I had hit very close to 800 pounds. Can't tell you how much I was officially because my scales didn't go that far. 6 years prior, I had weighed in at the doctor at 750 pounds. I kept gaining weight through that so I was definitely 800 plus or minus. I just decided I've had enough. I was depressed. I had a lot of issues, underactive thyroid, type 2 diabetes. I was housebound for pretty much 10 years or so. I hardly ever went out. Couldn't fit behind the wheel of a car. I had sleep apnea. My eyesight was deteriorating, lymphedema, lipedema, severe joint pain, mobility issues, balance issues. My inflammation markers were through the roof. When I went in to the doctors, they did do a blood test and they said I had never seen inflammation markers as high as yours. My
Wow.
eyesight was deteriorating. I couldn't see anything on the TV. Everything looked like it was written in a foreign language. I used to go to bed every night and I'd cry in the morning because I woke up. I just didn't want to wake up. I was at the lowest of the lows. So 50th birthday was a bit of a milestone for me. I decided this is it. I've got two beautiful daughters and I need to be around for them and I needed to make a difference. It was either live or just keep going, and I wasn't going to be here much longer. I didn't even feel human, but that's all gone now. I'm starting to love myself again, slowly, slowly, and getting out there in the world and enjoying my family time again and being part of the family.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to talk with Lindy from the Limitless Lindy YouTube channel. It's such an honor to share this time with you today and hear your story firsthand, Lindy. So thanks for
Um,
joining me.
it's a pleasure to be here, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Lindy, for those who are not familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh gosh. I've been overweight pretty much all my life. Oh, actually, before I start there, I'm 52 years old and I live in Melbourne, Australia, if you haven't figured out from the accent. So yeah, I've been pretty overweight all my life. I come from sort of an Italian background, so food was a very important part of our culture. We used to celebrate lots, have family over, always the big meals. And then, I lived with my grandparents, my parents and grandparents and my great-grandmother, so, very Italian, traditional, family gathering. And, when you were down, my great-grandmother was to stick me in her bedroom and, give me some chocolate from her secret stash in her wardrobe and like, "Shh, don't tell your mum," and things like that. So, when that's kind of where my, I guess, Ugh, my comfort eating issues, my bad relationship with food came from because it was food for you. When you're sad, you're depressed, you're happy, celebrating. It's just like a comfort thing. So I've always had that eating comfort issue throughout my life. Moving on to like when I was 21, I had my gallbladder out.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know if that was a dietary thing. My grandmother and my mother both had it out when they were about 21 as well, so I don't know if it's like a hereditary thing, but that was a bit odd. And then at 25, I'd hit around 300 pounds, and, I tried diets, couldn't sustain anything. It was just, yeah, yo-yo dieting all the time. Went to the doctors, they said, "I've got the thing for you, lap band surgery." So I booked myself in, had to do the Optifast shakes and, to start just before surgery, and I lost a little bit of weight on that. Had the surgery and then back home and just yeah, I failed. I couldn't. There was no dietary, like, advice, just, just eat whatever, whenever you like. You've got the restriction there, so, you'll be fine. Well, I wasn't fine. I couldn't eat a lot. Everything I ate, I just brought back up again. I don't know whether the restriction was way too tight or whatever, but the only thing I could eat was pretty much stuck on ice cream or some chocolate. Pureed foods, even that would get stuck. It was just so difficult. So
Mm.
I struggled for months and months and months, and then finally it settled down. I think because I may have increased my pouch a little bit, so I was able to get food down. But then the cycle of, dieting, binging, purging started again. And I continued on that path till my 50th birthday. And I had hit around very close to 800 pounds. Can't tell you how much I was officially because my scales didn't go that far. 6 years prior, I had weighed in at the doctor at 750 pounds. So that was 6 years prior. I kept gaining weight over that 6. So I was definitely 800, plus or minus. I couldn't tell you. And I just decided I've had enough. I mean, I was depressed. I had a lot of issues. I was having underactive thyroid, type 2 diabetes. I was housebound for pretty much, yeah, quite a few years, 10 years or so. I hardly ever went out. Couldn't fit behind the wheel of a car. I had sleep apnea, my eyesight was deteriorating, lymphedema, lipedema, severe joint pain, mobility issues, balance issues. I had quite a few falls just in the house. Could barely get
Mm.
myself up. I literally have to drag myself across the floor and then try and prop myself up on a chair to get up. But because I had so much fluid in my legs, the pain was just, I couldn't even put my legs down to kneel, get into a kneeling position. Um, my inflammation markers were through the roof. Doctor, when I went in to the doctors, they did do a blood test and they said I had never seen inflammation markers as high as yours.
Oh,
My
wow.
eyesight was deteriorating. I couldn't see anything on the TV. Everything looked like it was written in a foreign language. I couldn't make out letters, couldn't read my computer at all. Um, and yeah, the depression and anxiety. I used to go to bed every night and I'd cry in the morning because I woke up. I just didn't want to wake up. I was at the lowest of the lows. So, 50th birthday was kind of a bit of a, I don't know, milestone for me. I decided this is it. I've got two beautiful daughters and I need to be around for them and I need to make a difference. It was either, you know, live or just keep going, and I wasn't gonna be here much longer. So, I found keto. My sister did keto and suggested, "Oh, give this a try." She lost a heap of weight on it, and I thought, "No worries, sounds good." So, I started, I was measuring my food, doing all the macros, and sending her pictures to keep myself accountable. But geez, I hated it. The measuring the food, and I felt like a guinea pig doing all this stuff, and it was complicated, and they're like 80% this and 20 that, and I'm like, with my OCD, I'm like, I look at a piece of steak or and I'm like, how many grams of fat is in this? Like, I have no idea. And then eat this many grams and protein and, it was confusing and I couldn't do it. And, I kept failing. And then I discovered Dr. Berry's carnivore videos and I thought, "Oh, that looks easy. Just eat meat, no measuring. I'll give this a try." And I enjoyed it. But I still struggled because I had my husband sitting on the couch next to me eating Chinese, and here I am with my piece of steak, which I enjoyed, but geez, that Chinese smelt really good, and, the family wasn't supportive. People were telling me I was gonna die. Like, I know I was gonna die. I mean, 800 pounds. I was on my last legs, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but I was trying to improve my health, and I tried everything else. This was another option. Just leave me alone and let me kinda do what I'm doing.
Right.
If I die, at least I'll die happy with steak in my mouth. So it's like, yeah, I just had to try and yeah, ignore those comments. But in December 2021, I joined the SBG gang, and they've got like a community. I thought, "Oh, I need some help. Maybe this will inspire me a little bit." And I sat in all the Zoom meetings, my camera off, didn't want to show my face. All these people, they look beautiful to me. They're all obviously, they've all got issues and trying to do carnivore and, some are struggling with weight or health issues, but, I just felt like the unicorn in the room. I was extremely overweight and, embarrassed to show my face and in a really, really bad place, in a bad frame of mind. I was
So, hang
totally
on a
in.
second. So when you started Steak and Butter Gang,
Yeah.
how much weight had you lost on keto since?
Probably not a lot because I couldn't weigh myself because my scales didn't work. So
Right, right,
I have, 700-pound maximum limit on my scales, and I just
right.
got error. But I didn't lose a lot because I couldn't sustain it. I'd be keto for a couple of days and then go off and then try again and then be off again. So it wasn't a consistent weight loss at all. So honestly, I don't think I lost a lot. I didn't feel any better. It just didn't work for me, keto. Too many choices as well. Like you've got your your lasagnas and your keto ice cream and things. Well, that's my
Right.
comfort food. I would eat those to console my feelings. I'm Italian. Who doesn't like lasagna? But if it's keto, you can eat double portion, can't you? Because it's healthier. Like that's how your addictive brain works when you're
Yep.
that way. So that's why I struggled. It was not restrictive enough for me. So, um, oh, sorry, I've
And now you
lost my
join the
train of
steak and
thought.
butter gang.
Yeah, steak and butter gang, and yeah, I reached out to Coach Emily on in January 2022 in tears, saying I need help. I actually showed my face on the camera, which is the first time. Me, I never ask for help. I do things on my own. I just don't like to reach out for help. So this was really a cry, a desperate cry for help. So we had a bit of a chat, and she understood where I was coming from. Was a sort of a larger lady as well, and I sort of felt comfortable because she had been in a not as extreme as me, but she had a lot of weight to lose. She was a mum, so I kind of resonated with her as a coach. So she was fantastic. She also was only starting out with her coaching, so she brought Coach Raymond on as well. So I had the two coach me, and that's where my new life began. It was difficult to start. Obviously, still trying to deal with my husband and family, and, not being carnivore around me. They were supportive of what I was doing, but it didn't help when they were having food in the house, and then just all my comfort eating and just programming my head not to turn
Mhm.
to food when, things went bad. And just over time, my mindset just gradually changed. I started to feel better, lighter on my feet. I had so much edema in my body, which made it difficult just to move around the house. That started getting better. And yeah, the first year was hard because I was in a hurry to lose weight. I wanted to look like Bella and Lily Kane and all those beautiful influencers. And it's like, that ain't going to happen in a year. I've had 52 years of bad eating that I need to reverse. And my body, I was so malnourished at 800 pounds. You would think, how in the hell could you be malnourished? I
Mhm.
was. I wasn't eating a lot of meat because meat's bad for you. I mean, so is sugar and all that, but everyone demonizes meat. But you're okay to have a donut or moderate your sugar, but just stay away from meat. I mean, the messages are just so backwards, and they tell you to eat a balanced diet. I have no idea what a balanced diet is, but.
Right.
But now I just focus on eating meat. I've just had my 2-year anniversary, and I'm down to 295 pounds. So I'm finally under
Wow.
the 300 mark.
That is
Still got a
awesome.
long way to go, but I've got my life back. I can now fit behind the wheel of a car. I've actually bought myself a brand new car with all the money that I've saved from not eating, Uber eating and like Uber Eats, Menulog and all that. We don't do any of that anymore. I've been on a cruise with my girlfriend, and getting out there and starting to enjoy life, and off to KetoCon in May.
Awesome.
Texas. That'll be the first plane ride since my 20s. Um,
Wow.
so, yeah, lots of exciting things now. Never ever thought I would get my life back. And I don't know,
Right.
Carnivore has been the magic pill. It's given me that off switch that I never had before. I can just eat my meat and this switch turns off in my head, and I don't think about food anymore until, hours and hours later when I'm hungry again, and then more meat and it's off. But prior to that, I was just like constantly, you'd eat And within half an hour, you're looking for more. It's just like you were constantly 24/7 just consumed with the thought of food. So, I love it.
Wow. That's awesome. I love to hear the success that you've had so far, and you're just getting started. You're only 52, so
Yeah, God, if I had have known about this way of life at much earlier, I would have been a whole different lifestyle, but, at least I found it. I'm here now, and I'm enjoying time with my family, with my girls. We go out all the time now. It's not them coming here and watching me on a couch and making me a cup of tea anymore, and, um, yeah, they were worried about me, obviously, and, I was just so engulfed in my depression and just feeling bad that I was such a disappointment as a mum, as a human. I didn't even feel human. But that's all gone now. I'm starting to love myself again, slowly, slowly, and yeah, getting out there in the world and enjoying my family time again and being part of the family. So yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. So, to touch on the depression, since you brought that up, how bad was it? And did you ever seek out medical attention for that? Were you prescribed medications or things like that?
No, I never went to the doctors. I couldn't drive anyway. I had no car, but I couldn't fit behind a wheel. I relied on my husband to take me everywhere if we did go out, and the doctors are just going to say lose weight. Oh, I
Right.
had lap band surgery. I know I need to lose weight. I mean, geez, who at 800 pounds? That's the first thing I want to do. I want to lose weight. I didn't. I don't choose to be this way, but how do I do it?
Mhm.
And that's what they couldn't tell me. I think they wanted to probably tell me to do gastric bypass, which would have made things even worse than it is for me now. Like, I still don't think it's fixing the root cause of the problem, which is the comfort eating and just the carb cravings, which carnivore has turned off for me. And I didn't expect that from carnivore. Like, I just wanted to lose weight, but it has totally transformed my life, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. I'm just a completely new person. And who would have thought just eating meat would do that to you? But
Right.
yeah, never. So I was just depressed of my situation and the brain fog. I just think my brain was so inflamed from all the crap that I had been eating. I was definitely malnourished and unhappy with my situation.
Mhm.
And it's very hard to dig yourself out of that hole when you're down there. And
Absolutely.
yeah, just being consistent with carnival has just seemed to fix those things which I hadn't even thought could be fixed with carnival.
I
But
love that. So, how long did it
yeah,
take before those feelings started to lift for you?
it didn't take too long, probably a few months. But yeah, as I started feeling better, I could the light came back. I finally thought, I was getting a little bit mobile and the fluid in my limbs was not as bad. So the joint pain wasn't as bad. And just those little things that would just make me feel better and just I would know that this is the right path. If I continue down this path, I will get to where I want to be. My dreams are starting to become a reality if I continue this way. So, and I guess when you've been at your lowest, you don't want to spiral back into old habits. So, that frightens me a lot. So, when people sit down and they say, "Oh, have a cookie, just one, it won't hurt," I know that cookie will lead to a packet, or you can't stop. So, having that why, like not wanting to spiral back, I'm very confident saying no now. Um, you may be able to moderate it. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm an addict. I know that. And even after 2 years, I did have a slip up over Christmas, and a block of chocolate ended up in my cart, my shopping cart, because I had to make a dessert, which I didn't even touch. I didn't even taste test this dessert, tiramisu for my husband's family, but the chocolate and I sat here and I was numb. I didn't even taste it. Like the whole block of chocolate, I literally inhaled it. I had no feeling. I was numb. And it's like I woke up and I thought, my God, what have I done? and I had to literally snap myself out of it and say, okay, you stuffed up, but back on the wagon now. You don't want to go back to that person. I mean, that was that 800-pound woman who was numb for her life. I just didn't had no feelings. I just sat there depressed, and I didn't even think about what I was doing. It was just like a habit, routine, like a robot. You just putting food into your mouth, trying to fill that hole inside you, but it didn't work. It never worked. I still felt like crap afterwards. So I'm aware of that now. I'm aware it's a weakness, it's an addiction. And after 2 years, it's still there. And I just have to be mindful of that. And I was able to get back on the wagon and go through Christmas without any hitches. And I'm very strong still today. So,
That's
yeah, I guess
awesome.
some people need to get to that really low point to keep them on track, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it was the same with me. Yeah, I slipped up a couple times, and it was compared to other diets, this was so much easier to get back on track for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that part of it. So you mentioned type 2 diabetes. Did you, have a diagnosis of that, or were on any medications for that?
Well, just before I started Carnivore, I made my asked my husband to take me into the doctors to get a full blood panel so I could see
Okay,
what my starting point was. And she said I was pre-diabetic, but I'd obviously been like that for a while. Like my eyesight was failing, and I had neuropathy in my feet. So
right.
all the symptoms were there, but because I didn't have a pre-diagnosis, that's why they said pre-diabetic. But talking to my doctor, like, recently, she's like, "No, you were full-blown type 2." It's just what they say because I didn't have a previous, diagnosis because I hadn't been to the doctor in many, many years.
Mhm.
Um, so I wasn't on medication or anything, but my oldest daughter is type 1 diabetic. She's been type 1 since she was 10 and she's 33 now. And we have so many glucose meters here. So I would test my glucose and I was high. Like I know our readings are different to what you do in the US. So but they were extremely high. So I knew I was type 2 but diabetic, but I didn't do anything about it. I just kept, just put it out to the back of my mind and just kept doing what I was doing. Like I was so depressed, like, I didn't care. It was just another way that I wasn't gonna be here and have to live my life anymore, so I didn't tell anybody that my levels were high. They probably knew it, but, nobody said anything. It just, I guess, didn't wanna hurt me, and I didn't mention it. I was
Yeah,
just in hiding. Mm.
wow. So have you had any recent blood tests that kinda show that things have gone in a better direction?
Yeah, just when was the last one? Probably about 4, 5 months ago. And the doctor said she was amazed, didn't recognize me when I walked in, and all my markers are looking fantastic. She said, I don't need to see you for another year. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you change your diet or if something happens, like I fall and break my leg or something, come and see me. Other than that, I don't need to see you. All my markers are diabetes, I've reversed it. Inflammation markers are normal and from going from I've never seen inflammation marks as high as yours to now normal. I still have an underactive thyroid. I'm still on medication for that. I don't know if that will improve. I'm hoping it will, but I'll just keep plodding along and seeing how that goes. And my vitamin D and folate, I'm deficient in those still, so I supplement with those. But apart from that, I don't take anything else. Eyesight's improved, as you can see. Here talking to you, I can see my computer, I can read the TV now. That neuropathy in my feet, it's almost gone now. Um, what else? Oh, lipedema, lymphedema. I had such severe symptoms. I feel normal now. I don't get the pain that I used to get. I just did a 5-day fast and that really helped with all the fluid in my legs. Like I still had a little bit there and it just wouldn't budge. And this 5-day flat fast, I just kind of flushed my system out, all my
Oh, okay.
lymphatic fluid, everything. My feet actually look like normal feet now. Um, It's just amazing, and I felt really, really good after that fast, and, I think I might become a little addicted to it over the next couple of months. I just wanna maybe not 5 days, that refeeding was a little bit hard, but, maybe some 72s or 48s and just throw a few of those in here and there. I just love the feeling of being on a fast and, the mental clarity you get from it and just feeling so much lighter without all this fluid sort of bogging you down. So, yeah,
Wow. So,
but
in terms of the neuropathy and the lymphedema, how bad were they?
my feet, my toes, I couldn't feel my toes. I couldn't wiggle them. They were
Oh
just
my
like
goodness.
attachments on my feet, underneath my feet. When I walking, I couldn't feel anything on the soles of my feet. It's more so on my left side than the right. Couldn't feel blankets on me in bed, water on them when I'm in the shower. Like wasn't aware that my legs were getting washed. I was just so numb, so swollen and numb, all my feet, but just had no feeling at all. I could stub my toe and wouldn't even know it, and then it'd be black and blue. And I'm like, what happened there? I just had no idea. But
Wow.
it did. Just walking and things that would I think that's probably why my balance was so off because I couldn't feel my foot sometimes. And so you put your foot down and it was like maybe didn't feel like it was there and that's why I fell. I have no idea, but yeah, it was very uncomfortable. But now I have a little bit of pins and needles sort of under my toes, just on the bottom of my sole of my foot, sort of the padding there. I can still feel a little bit of like pins and needles, but yeah, if I stub my toe, I definitely know about it now. So, yeah, all the feeling has come back, which has been good. Yeah.
That's the drawback to the feeling coming back.
Uh, I'd rather have that though. I feel alive if I can feel pain. Otherwise, yeah, everything was numb before. My whole body and my brain was numb. And yeah, pain is actually good now because it makes me feel alive. So,
Right, right.
yeah.
So, I don't think you mentioned this yet, but, in the information that you sent over prior, you had, mentioned migraines, so can you talk a little bit
Ah.
about
Yeah, I used to have migraines every week, every other week. They would put me out for like 3 days. They were so bad, and I'd be on medication. We used to have Mercindol was the most strongest drug that you could get over the counter, and I would be popping those for 2 3 days. I'd be in bed, couldn't see. I'd be throwing up. They were awful. Yeah, and I haven't had a migraine since being on Carnivore
that?
at all.
That's
But
incredible.
I did actually go to the doctor because I've been having them since in my 20s, and I went to the doctors a few times about it. They said, "I'll give you a tablet that you can have. You've got to have it every day, and that will stop it happening." Oh, I don't want to take a tablet every day.
Mhm.
Just tell me why I'm getting them, what I can do to prevent them from happening. Go and have a massage. You're probably stressed. I'm like, I don't want a massage. I don't like people touching my body. Like, I was a big girl then. I wasn't, as big as I was then, but I'm just
Right.
not comfortable with that. And so I just kind of felt, yeah, just shoved off. Here's a tablet, move along kind of thing. And I didn't want to take that tablet. So I just persisted all this time. I didn't think Carnival would make the migraines go away, but yeah, I haven't had one at all since being Carnival. Had a couple of really mild headaches, but I can after having migraines, a mild headache is nothing. Definitely doesn't faze me at all.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
Great.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that for you. So, in terms of your sleep, how has that improved? Did you have any issues with sleeping in the past?
I've always been a very light sleeper, and not needed much sleep. I've always been like that. But since being carnivore, the quality of sleep that I've had is so much better. I actually I don't wake up when I hear a noise outside anymore. I sleep through it, which I used to wake up at the tiniest little noises. Um, but then when I wake up in the morning as well, I bounce out of bed. Whereas before I used to kick the snooze button, hit the snooze button, didn't want to get out of bed. I was just Yeah, so the quality of sleep has improved, definitely. I still don't sleep much, but I
Mhm.
don't care. It gives me more hours in the days to do what I want to do. So, yeah, yeah, I love it. I just love that. And I dream now. When I go to sleep, I obviously get into that deep, deep sleep and I dream usually nice things. Um, yeah, I feel good when I sleep. So,
I
yeah,
love that. I think I had heard you mention in the past also on another live stream about sleep apnea. Was that a thing for you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I never had the pump or anything. The only time they put me on the pump was when I had the lap burn surgery. I had to use the pump then, and they sent me
Mhm.
home with it afterwards, but then they took it away, and then I was never tested after that. Never
Okay.
went back and got a machine. I know my grandmother had it. She had the concentrator hooked up to her pump, and she was on that all the time, but, I know I had it 'cause all the symptoms were there. I was the same as my grandmother. We'd be talking and, mid-sentence, I'd be asleep. I was just couldn't stay up. I'd sit down on the couch with my husband after work when he came home, and I'd be passed out. I just couldn't watch TV. I just couldn't do anything. Yeah. But,
Wow.
and then at nighttime, I'd wake up gasping for breath because I would, my husband was always like, yeah, tapping on me, "Are you you still here?" kind of thing. 'Cause I just wasn't breathing. And so, yeah, I definitely had it without the diagnosis, but I never had it treated again. At that size, they're going to tell you to lose weight. And it's like, I know that, but how? The big how. They never could answer that.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so awesome that all these things have improved for you. So one interesting thing is that you said you had the lap band surgery, right?
Yes. I
So
still
I
have
worked
that. Yeah.
okay, so I worked for a company that developed products for that company, and one of them was a machine that simulated vomiting because that's the most violent thing that that device would actually see and encounter. So we
Yeah.
had to invent a machine that simulated the motion of vomiting for the lap band. So it's
Wow.
I don't know why I brought that up. That's just interesting that, 20 years ago, I was doing that for an engineering company, and now I've met somebody that actually had that installed. So
Oh, yeah. And it still gives me grief today. I do have to struggle to keep some of my meals down. It just come back up if I just and it yeah, some days I can eat a lot, and other days, I don't know whether it's stress or whatever, but I just can't keep any food down. And then once if I throw up, I can't eat again for at least, 12, 14 hours afterwards. It's just like I just feel like there's something constantly stuck in my chest. It's a
oh,
terrible feeling, and I can't like with SPG gang, we do a lot of priming and just eat 3 big meals a day. Well, I can't eat 3 meals, so I have to actually break it down and have lots of little meals, and that's the only way that I can do priming. So, it does affect me if we do go out and I order a steak, like, it takes me 2 hours to eat a steak
mhm,
because I have to cut it up into little bits and chew it really well, and, then I need, some butter or egg yolks or something to help wash it down because otherwise I find it really dry. So it does impact me, which is a real pain. I just would love to be able to sit down, especially if you go out socially and just have a decent steak and finish with everyone else and not be the one that's, oh, can I take a doggy bag so I can eat the rest in the car or when I get home
right.
because I can't finish my meal with everyone else. So I do feel a bit odd like that. So
Well,
I
that would be
guess
a
if we
challenge.
go out, yeah, I just refuse to go out too much with people. For if we go out, we go and do something, go to a park or go elsewhere that doesn't involve a lot of food. Yeah, or just a coffee date. I do drink coffee socially, so I'll have a coffee with them. And don't take away my carnivore card, but
Right,
it is a
right.
it's just a social thing for me. It's my treat, which is better than having cheesecake and all that. I'll have a
Yeah, or a
coffee.
Coke or
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Long black, that's all I have. No sugar, no milk, no dairy, so,
There you go. So are
yeah.
you able to have that device removed?
People have said, "Why don't you?" But it's been in there 20 over 25 years. I'm scared there's scar tissue around it, and if they try to remove it, they may do more damage. So I'm scared to have that removed. I don't want to risk it. So
Right.
I'm just gonna put up with it. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
avoid doctors if I can.
Right.
Cutting me unnecessarily, the damage is done. You
Right.
know, I did the only reason it was there because that was the miracle to fix my
Mhm.
condition at the time, and, obviously it was a lie. I shouldn't have listened. I should have found Carnivore back then.
Right. Yeah. Well, we all should have done that a long time
Yeah.
ago, but yeah, we were fooled into thinking, healthy is carrots and broccoli. So for
Oh,
sure.
yes.
And we were all addicted to the sugar and carbs at some point. But yep.
Yeah.
So you started the steak and butter gang. That's obviously something that's big in your life and important to you and has helped you a lot. So can you
It
kind of
is.
share with us what first of all, what is that? And, kind of what are some of the things that you guys do that help you out?
Well, Steak and Butter Gang, they've got a free forum, but, I join up for the monthly challenges. So they have probably, 6 to 8 Zoom calls. They go for about an hour every month. So, 2 to 3 meetings a week. And you just log in on Zoom. You've got all the windows up with all the different people. You can have camera on or off if you're like me and didn't want to be show your face. You can do it in private and just listen to the coaches. They just talk about, they've got different topics, sugar addiction and then fasting and priming protocols. And then people can raise their hands or drop comments in and that you get those answered as well. But just listening to other people and some of their struggles I could relate to. I'm like, "Oh, that's me." So I learned a lot from these meetings. Even now, 2 years in, I am still learning so much and just hearing other people's stories. They have NSV meetings, so people will just raise their hands and talk about all their non-scale victories, things that have happened, health improvements, or I can get on the floor and play with my puppy now and play with my grandkids, and people that were just so restricted are now getting their life back, and it's just so motivating and keeps you on track. So I did, private coaching for nearly 8 months with Coach Emily and Raymond, and then I felt like I had all the tools to go off on my own and do my own thing, and I left Steak and Butter Gang for a couple of months, and I just found I was getting into a slump. I wasn't just watching YouTube videos anymore, I was of sort of distancing myself from the community. And then all these thoughts kept coming into my head about cheating and oh, one little thing's not going to hurt. And I'm just like, no, I can't do this. So I rejoined SBG Gang back in the meetings and I'm fine again. It's what keeps me strong, being in the community, watching all the videos, listening to people's stories. I love listening to people's YouTube channels. So if you don't have one and want to share your story, hook me up because I'd love to follow. I just find everyone's story so inspirational, motivational, and that's what keeps me on track because it just reminds me of how good. Oh, what's happened with me has been amazing, but hearing that other people are finding their way and, getting their lives back too, it just makes me so happy, and that's why I'm sharing my stories because I wanna reach those people that can't get themselves out of that hole, and carnivore is not a cure, but it will help all these symptoms. It will improve so many symptoms and give you a better quality of life. So I really believe that. It's such a powerful, powerful thing that we need to get out there and just, share with the world. It could fix a lot of issues for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So inside the steak and butter gang, group, you said that they do something called priming. I would assume that most people watching this have no idea what priming is or what that's all about. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a rundown on what that is and, kind of what they talk about
Okay.
in relation to priming?
Yeah. Well, I just in my situation, 800 pounds, I was one of the most malnourished people in the world, I think, because I was full of crap. You are what you eat, and I ate a lot of crap. So, my body was always craving because didn't have the nourishment that it needed to sustain itself. So, priming is basically eating 3 meals plus snacks a day for about a week. And then the following week, you can cut down to sort of 3 meals a day. And you just eat as much carnivore foods until you're comfortably stuffed. And depends for, some people, I think Bella went 6 months. She was came from a veganism sort of background, so she needed the extra priming, but so it's different for everyone, and that's why it's good to be in the community to assess that because they tell you what to look for, the different markers. But priming basically resets all your hormones, your hunger signals. It re-nourishes your body and gets you in a really good state to sort of drop off, and then you can start doing fasting if you want to, or just getting back into a normal routine. But it pretty much is what stopped all the cravings for me, is because you fill yourself up with all this nutritious food and it just regulates your hormones, the leptin and all that. It just resets all of that and you just don't have those cravings anymore. So that was a game changer for me as well. And I did do priming again just before I went on my 5-day fast. I've lost an excessive amount of weight very quickly and I've had a lot of hair loss. My hair has thinned out so much. And just doing that priming this time around has stopped the hair falling out. Like I'm brushing my hair and not losing any. So having
Wow.
that extra priming has really helped that as well. So it's just a tool that you can use. If you have a stall or something, you just prime up, ramp up your metabolism again, and then you can sort of fall back into your normal eating habits after that. So it's another tool that you can use just to help with, if you're having issues, you're feeling really tired, or you might just be under eating and this will reset your body again. So yeah, that Coach Raymond is, I think, the owner of that idea, I guess, or the founder of. He's a wizard, the priming wizard. He's just amazing. So definitely worth checking out if you're having issues and struggling. It's a really powerful tool that you can use whenever.
Awesome. I love that. So you said that
Mm.
the priming helped out before you went into fasting. So, and that's one of the things that they do in the steak and butter gang as well. So, can you tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that also?
They do have a fasting protocol, but I have never done that. I've just remain consistent. But fasting, it's fantastic. There's so many benefits to fasting. You with obviously autophagy, which is high on my list. I have a lot of loose skin, so I really like the thought of helping that out. But just the healing benefits of it and the mental clarity that you get from it is a great feeling. But it's not a necessary part. You still learn a lot from it. But yeah, sorry, what was the question again?
I mean, just a little bit about your
Yeah.
experience with the fasting with the steak and butter gang.
Yeah. So,
Doesn't
yeah,
sound like you've done a whole lot of it, but you did do that one 5-day fast though.
yeah, I did try to do the fasting, but I felt like a failure because I couldn't fast, um, which is another bit of a disappointment for me because it just felt like another failure to add to my list of diets that I failed at. So I always struggled with the fasting, but I think just that my body wasn't ready. I had a lot of healing to do, and how I was able to do a 5-day fast just in the beginning of this month, it still amazes me. But I did prime the week before, but obviously my body is well nourished now, and I was able to do it. And the trick with the fasting is not to white knuckle. If you're white knuckling fasting, you're doing it wrong. I didn't white knuckle at all. You do get a little bit of hunger every now and then, but it passes, and it's not to the extreme that you're going to eat your pillow or you just it's just easy to do.
Mhm.
So, I definitely know that that was a really nice nourished fast. Didn't struggle at all. Michael, he's in our little group. He's actually on day 8 or day 9 now. He's continued on. I stopped at
Goodness.
5 days, 16 hours, but he's still going, still getting really good results. And he primed for 3 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks prior to fasting. So his body's okay to do that. He's not having side effects or feeling tired and, uh, he's doing okay. So I think if you want to do fasting, priming is definitely a good tool to go with it. It's just like a match made in heaven, the priming and the fasting protocol. So,
It's
yeah, I
awesome.
love it.
So priming definitely has me intrigued because I have felt like I've been malnourished my entire life. And I have
Yeah,
tried fasting in the past, especially with Jeff DeProsperous, and tried to, do a 5-day fast with him. And I literally could not make it but about
yeah,
24 hours. After 24 hours, I just felt like I was so ravenously hungry that I was going to throw up, like I couldn't do it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Definitely something to look into then, a bit of priming, and you should be able to go a couple of, a day or so without eating. Like, if I miss a meal or whatever, it's no big deal anymore. And I know all my carb friends, they're like, "Oh, I haven't eaten all day and I've got to eat something." And I could just keep going. Like, it doesn't phase me. It's like not important anymore.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. Awesome. So, do you have any tips for anyone that maybe was in the position that you were in, excess of 500 pounds, maybe even 600 or 700 pounds where you were, and specific tips for those people?
Well, give carnivore a try. Definitely. Yeah, it's just been a game changer for me. Keep consistent, consistency over perfection. If you fail and have something off plan or whatever, get straight back on the wagon. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till, the next month. Get straight back on the wagon. Don't let those little failures derail you so quickly. It's just, yeah, a matter of keeping consistent all the time and trusting the process. Um, it's not the quick fix and you shouldn't be. Oh, that's the other thing with priming. You can put on weight. Some people can put on weight to start with, but it could be muscle, it could be bone. You might put a little bit of weight on, but that will all fall off once you've primed. You need to concentrate on healing your body first, and then your body will reward you with the weight lost when it's ready, when it feels safe to do so. So I think, yeah, put the scales away and just focus on eating meat. Just be consistent with it and trust the process.
That's awesome.
Everything else just falls into place. Yeah, it'll fix a lot of things.
For sure. So what would you say to those people that will say, "My cholesterol is gonna get too high and I'm gonna have a heart attack?"
Go and watch Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, they've all got videos about that. And, if my doctor ever said that to me, I'll just say, "No worries." If they give me a statin receipt for a prescription, I'll just drop it in the bin on my way. When I get home, I'm not into that. I've listened to the doctors. They're experts in carnivore. They look amazing. My doctor doesn't look anything like Dr. Chafee or Dr. Berry. So, if I'm going to take advice from someone, it'll be someone who looks and is living this lifestyle. So, I'm putting my trust in the carnivore doctors, and I feel amazing. I don't believe I need any kind of drugs or anything like that. So, just if people say things, yeah, I understand your concern. Yeah, I'll look into it and just leave it at that. Change the topic. I don't bother fighting with people if they just want to start an argument. I'm just not, I haven't got time for that. I want to be positive and I don't need these naysays and negative Nancy's around me because I'm just looking at photos now of friends. They're all getting older and I've got like the fountain of youth. I'm aging backwards, which is sad. And I just want to grab them all by the ears and just say, "Come and join me on this side." You could
Right?
reverse all these things. They're always complaining, and I just wish they would just jump on board because I can just see it would improve their lives so much. But they all struggle with carnival's too restrictive. I'm like, try being 800 pounds and tell me life is not restrictive. Really, this is a walk in the park compared to my life. So when people say that to me, I'm just like, oh, you have no idea what restrictive is. And yeah, that kind of makes me sad. I wish people would give it a go and not Yes, as life is more important than food. I'm not here to living to eat. I'm here to live. Food is just something that you do for survival. You eat it and then go and live your life. So who cares if you don't have the rainbow of colors on your plate and the sweet things, that dopamine hit? I mean, go and do something else that will make you feel good. That doesn't involve sweets. You know,
Absolutely.
it's just how my mindset has changed so much just by eating meat. I can see all that now. It was just like, yeah, very numb to feelings in the world back then, but I see everything in a different eyes now, which I like.
I love that. I love that, Lindy.
Yeah.
Or you've had all of these things improve for you, and your depression is lifted, no more migraines, you're losing weight like crazy. You're gonna be on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition soon, and,
Oh, no. I'd never be on that. I wouldn't want to be on that. No. No, unless it's a carnival, and then, yeah, definitely, but I'm not promoting anything that's like that.
right?
Yeah, I just wanna be me. I'm a mum on a mission to optimize my health, get healthy, and spend a beautiful life with my daughters and hubby, so that's all I care about. But
Awesome. So speaking of daughters, has this change in you made things better or worse for your family life?
Oh, absolutely better. I think that they just love having me around again. We're actually going out now. We have little every month that me and the girls we go off, we get our nails done. Just
Oh,
2 days
nice.
ago, got them done. We go out for lunch. We've been to a magic show and went to a wildlife park. My youngest daughter just bought me a ticket to go and see Coldplay in November, so we're going to see
Oh, nice.
Coldplay. I've been to a concert since my teens. So I'm like, but and she wants to take her mum. I'm like, "Alright." She's got all these friends and she wants mum to go. I think they're loving it. They're loving their new mum 'cause, yeah, they were worried about me and, I was worried too, but I'm still young enough that I can enjoy them. My youngest, she's 21, just turned 21, and the oldest is 33. So and we go out, people think we're sisters. It's just beautiful. I love it. We get on so well. We're like besties, and we love spending time with each other, and we've got lots of plans to go out and do things together. So yeah,
I love that.
and my husband's happy too. Having me back as well. He's not worried about me anymore, and we're going on little dates here and go for a drive, get out of the house. I drive now because I've got the new car and I want to drive. I love my car. So,
Okay.
we just go out and do things and, it's just nice.
Nice. So are you a fast driver or a slow driver?
I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a
No.
lead foot.
You got places to go now.
Yeah, I think my father was a lead foot and I think it's kind of rubbed off on me and my youngest. She's a bit of a lead foot too. And, yeah, it's not good. But thankfully, I've got a car that I just set the cruise control and it goes off and then if the car in front slows down, it automatically slows down. So I don't have to use any feet. It just it drives itself. And that
Right.
keeps me on, yeah, that way I don't go over. I just set the cruise control everywhere and it keeps to the
Exactly.
speed limit. So I'm very good now.
I am
So
very thankful for that feature as well.
yeah,
Definitely
well, the
keeps me
last car
within
I had
the boundaries.
Yeah, the last car I had didn't have all these whiz bang things. I didn't even know they existed until I got this one, and it's like, wow, this is a dream to drive. It's awesome. So I'm loving all these extra buttons and features, and lane control, assist, and all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lindy, I thank you so much for joining me today and spending time with me. And I absolutely loved learning everything about you and your journey. And I'm looking forward to what you have in store for the future. If anyone hasn't subscribed to her channel, it is at Limitless Lindy on YouTube. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
And do you have any other
And
social channels that you want to shout out?
yeah, just Instagram at Limitless Lindy as well. So yeah, just the two. That's all.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for joining me. And until we meet again, I'm sure we will on a live soon.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. It's been great.